We're being very risky. I'll say that right off the rip. Make sure the audio's working for us. Start talking too much. So I developed an accent instead of messing up. Alright, I got about an hour until I got to do something. And I really wanted to go ahead and start on some MyGM. So this video might get broken into two parts. Might be broken into two parts. You'll, again, more than likely know before me. We're here. You see the title. Starting Season 3. Season 2 is very good to us, even though we had a very bumpy road towards the end and whatnot. But my goal here is to get through the first month or so. If we got over a month's worth of action in an hour, that actually would be very good. So I will say this. One thing that is a bit complicated. The GM, these I get them confused. The season challenges, I sometimes call them GM challenges. Every season we always go through these because obviously you need 5 to get the trophy. And so I try to pick out, oh, this is accomplishable, this one, etc. This time around, slightly difficult. 15 one-on-one matches will be done. That one is like a guarantee. If not, then we had a crazy season. 5 trades is difficult because it's either if I could get 5 trades done, we're just going to get screwed in all the trades, and we're dealing with a bunch of hard asses. 10 tornado tags shouldn't be that difficult because we have a lot of tag teams now on the roster. 3 casket matches, 3 no holds barred matches. Not that difficult, but it's the thing with the casket match is if you do a casket match, whoever loses is gone from your roster. I don't really want to be sacrificing that just for a challenge, but if need be, need be. No holds barred matches is not as complicated. 10 charity promos should be doable because a lot of times we end up doing charity promos anyways. Booking 25 matches with 3 stars, I would imagine we could do. I also have not been keeping count, so book 10 matches with superstars who have more than a 65 popularity. I thought this wouldn't be that difficult, but at the moment, it kind of is because we don't have a lot of popular superstars. 10 Hell in the Cell matches, what's funny? Not really, no. 10 Hell in the Cell matches is doable, it just is not logical. If that makes sense. And purchasing all the power cards probably won't have. 5 times. If it was 3 times, maybe. 5 times is a lot. 5 times. So over here, first episode of week 1. Let's try to see where we're at. I remember when we left off, we bought the Tier 4 arena. That's why we don't have as much money, because it's kind of a goal at the start of every season to upgrade the arenas. And granted, we only got 2 more upgraded arenas to do, so that is a good thing. Now, I will say this, because I was just talking to y'all about how we don't really have as many popular stars. This is our GM power card, so we're going to go ahead and use it right off the rip as well, as this should help us in the main event. Okay, Stephanie Vaquer is a 65. Karl Anderson is a 65. AJ Styles is a 65. So is AJ and Penta. Penta's a 78. So we will have 1 match that qualifies for that. So I'm gonna break down my plan because again, we're going fast paced because like I said, we got like an hour. We could slow it down, but I'm just trying to get everything through. So planned rivalries. I like to go ahead and say what I have planned because there's always chances and times where what I have planned doesn't end up happening. So right now, carrying over from last season, Penta and Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles and Karl Anderson. We need that rivalry to conclude this month, and preferably with AJ Styles and Karl Anderson being the tag champions, because one of the main rivalries that I wanted to end up doing is Kevin Owens and Penta. Now, I'll also say this, and it might be a bit crazy to do, but I think my goal for WrestleMania this season is to have Stephanie Vaquer. I'm trying to say it right. I kind of say it like Naomi. Stephanie Vaquer and Rhea Ripley to be our women's WrestleMania match, and Cody Rhodes versus Bron Breakker to be our men's WrestleMania match. There's chances that happens beforehand. Who knows? But that is the goal I have in mind. Now, talking about right now, We're probably going to have Roxanne and Stephanie Vaquer feud. Stephanie Vaquer is not far away from a level 15, and we could probably change to a specialist. So that needs to be done. Zoe Stark and Sol Ruca, who both have claims to the women's U.S. title because they ended up being the champions. So Zoe Stark was the women's U.S. champion at the end of the first season and then left, and then Sol Ruca was the women's U.S. champion at the end of last season and left. So they both have claims to the women's U.S. title. And that leaves Rhea Ripley to feud with Gigi Dolan, which is fine and dandy. Cody Rhodes, now here's where it gets a little bit complicated. I think we're going to have Bron Breakker along with Cody Rhodes. And again, we could consider this long-term storytelling because, like I said, what I wanted to happen at Mania. And if you remember last year, and if not, I'll tell you. Last year in our MyGM series on WWE 2K25, we had a big rivalry with reforming Legacy and the Bloodline. So it's Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Bron Breakker versus Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and Solo Sikoa. So we're kind of doing a little bit of that here. Now, their rivals right now are going to be Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. And in my mind, I think what we're going to try to do is Trick Williams versus Bron Breakker for the U.S. title and Cody Rhodes. Or, let me backtrack that. I don't know what title. Title implications will be there because the tag titles are tied up with other people. Now, that leaves Angelo Dawkins, Tyrese Halliburton, and Montez Ford. Now, I already mentioned I would like Penta and Kevin Owens to have their rivalry done with AJ and Karl Anderson. That way we can move on to AJ and Karl Anderson versus the Street Profits, which we tried to do last season, but Paul Heyman didn't want to trade us the Street Profits. That's okay. We have them now. So, in the course of this month, if we could find a tag partner for Tyrese Halliburton, that could be like a little holdover, time will tell there. But money is going to be extremely tight this season if we're having to do these stipulation matches and GM searches. Is going to be a bit more complicated than I would like. So we also have these power cards that could help us out because we have this one. We have several power cards to help us out with signings. It's just going to be the case of paying like $50,000, $20,000, etc. to do the damn search for the people. Because we have 2 free Immortals, which again, that'd be it. You would think it's free. You're still paying $50,000 because you gotta do the search for the Immortal star that you want. We got 2 contract extensions, and we have 3, or technically 5 contract extensions. If we want to look at it that way. So enough of me like going through all this. We're gonna go through the action. So we're gonna crown a women's U.S. champion here. Logically speaking, if I didn't already have it wrote down, I would have just changed this to Zoe Stark, Sol Ruca 1-on-1. That way we could have got another 1-on-1 match done. But it's also a case I don't want every show to be 1-on-1 matches. So that is what. And I feel that Roxanne Perez and Stephanie Vaquer have a good argument to be women's U.S. champion as well. So there's that. So we're going to have Trick Williams turn into a heel this week. And Bron Breakker more than likely will next week. So let's get through this first episode. With Zoe Stark reclaiming what she never lost, technically. Zoe Stark had a good run on our show. I can give her credit for that. We'll see if that continues. As Kevin Owens beats Bron Breakker, even though Karl Anderson runs in. Cody Rhodes is our men's U.S. champion and is feuding with Carmelo Hayes. I'll also say this. I don't think I said it at the beginning. Terrible week. Terrible week. I don't know when this is getting uploaded, but it obviously all started Friday night with the Grizzlies, my Memphis Grizzlies, and that game against the Lakers. I think that's the best way to describe it. Because the time that this is uploaded, that could mean a lot of other things. Because as of right now, COD already means a lot. It's not a fun watch. I'll go through these first episodes to see what everybody is up to, and that way I can ramble about all of this. Grizzlies season, I will say this. Because, again, I'm hoping that all this is just put behind us, and logically speaking, it should. The thing that bothered me the most is being up 14 points going into halftime, and then coming out of halftime and, like, 3.5 minutes in, it's already down to, like, a 4-point lead. And it just... Such a odd fucking game. And I think that's the best way to put it. I add an extra word to that, but that's just... it was very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. Now, 10 times as frustrating was the Packers game on Sunday, and Tucker Kraft getting hurt, and it just hurts my heart. Literally tweeted out, "Give his pain to me. I'm willing to be the sacrifice. I will take his pain." Because I loved seeing Tucker Kraft play, and, I don't know the severity of it. We don't know the severity of it yet. But it was just something that you don't even really want to think of. And I don't follow a lot of Packer pages on Instagram, which is funny, but obviously a lot of them are in my For You page. And I commented on one of them. We lost on Jordan Love's birthday. We lost in the retros. We lost Tucker Kraft. We lost by a field goal. And I lost my sanity. Like, everything that I hate I hate losing in the retros. Because it makes me think fucking negatively of them. We lost on Jordan Love's birthday, and they kept saying, he's 27, he's 27. All these other Packer quarterbacks won the championship at 27, etc., Just, days like this is what makes me, like, I can't say I love football. I love Packer football. I like fantasy football. I like football. I can't say I love it, because, like, shit like this, days like that, make me not. Also, one of my fantasy leagues, I'm going against freaking somebody that Drake London who scored 40 points, and my opponent has 150 points, so that did not help a damn thing. So, back over here. Back to MyGM World. Okay. I'm willing... See, here's the problem. I'm willing to do this because it's Rhea Ripley. I don't... I'm willing to do this. It doesn't help with the challenge. When I get the challenges done, then I feel like slightly better. Alright. So, we're going to have Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vaquer. See, here's the problem. Alright. If we do it a multi-person match, because I was trying to keep Stephanie Vaquer and Rhea away from each other as far as I can, but if it's like a multi-person match, it doesn't even really count that much. I don't even know. We have Rhea, Stephanie, Zoe, Sol, Roxanne, and Gigi. We haven't done anything with Gigi yet. It also doesn't have to be in the main event. I keep thinking it has to be in the main event. So, Karl Anderson and Penta, we're going to have in the main event because Karl Anderson wanted a match with Penta. And we'll put a stipulation. I don't know. What match can we have be a no-holds-barred match? I will say that. That is something that we're trying to take account for right now. All right. Over here, though, I do need Bron Breakker to be a face if we're going to align him with Cody Rhodes, which, obviously speaking, we could have kept Trick a heel. Or we could have kept... Was Trick a face or a heel? He was a face, wasn't he? Yeah. We could have kept Trick a face, and then we could have had like an interesting dynamic there, but I don't want to really risk anything too complicated. Okay. I also don't like that Cody's at a 48 stamina already, just from a triple threat match. Anyways. Alright. Tyrese. I'm signing you up to do something you probably don't want to do. Tyrese Halliburton, Angelo Dawkins, no-holds-barred match. Just to get one of them done. Get one of them done. Rhea Ripley. We're going to make this a non-title match. Rhea Ripley. Stephanie Vaquer. Sol Ruca. Yes, was the other person. And do we do Zoe Stark? I think we'll do... we're going to do Gigi Dolan. And then we're going to have Roxanne run in and attack Stephanie. We'll keep the title not on the line. And we'll give Zoe Stark this week's charity promo. So now, can we do a tornado tag match? We need to do... Here's the thing. I could do Penta and Karl Anderson. I think we're going to do Penta and Karl Anderson in the No Holds Barred match this week. Just to get that done. Because if Karl Anderson loses, then what? We still have another week for him to come back and he can have the match with Kevin Owens. And logically speaking, we'll have Kevin Owens do a run-in. Do we have Kevin Owens do a run-in? Yes. Tornado tag match. Street Profits versus Trick and Mello with Cody running in. And then we probably can't have Cody run in. Do I do this match now? That is my question. Or do we wait it out? If you want me to be honest with y'all, we should... Because how much is a tornado tag match? This is what happens. We should have enough to do a search. And potentially sign somebody. So for now, I'm going to have it be the Street Profits, Tyrese, and AJ. But we'll come back to that. So going over here, I really want to do a talent scout search. LA Knight, Javon Evans, Finn Balor, who I did want Finn. Javon Evans would be good. LA Knight would benefit our roster a lot, but at this exact moment, I don't have much for him, which is kind of his issue in real life. Sami Zayn. Oh, baby. That's who I want. That's who I want. I want Dominic Mysterio. All right. We're bringing in Dirty Dominic Mysterio. And then using one of these. So Dominic and Tyrese is going to be the tag team for now. Boom. I like this. In a tornado tag match. And then this match right here, Cody and Mello with Trick running in. We had just enough for it, and then AJ can do an ad promo. Boom. Now, here's the thing, the other thing I will say. Who else was here? Sami Zayn would have been good. Jimmy Uso. All these are good. If I'm being honest, everybody here is a viable option. But I talked heavily about wanting Dominic Mysterio during the draft. And I talked heavily about wanting Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor and putting them with AJ Styles and Karl Anderson. So, we don't have enough for Finn. I'm going to take Dominic. That's fine. I wouldn't mind Sheamus being back on the roster. But obviously, we can't do that today. And where did this card go? Probably went to the bottom. All right, so we have 2 more of these left. That's a good thing. So, and if I'm also being honest, our next signings probably need to be female talent. And more than likely will be female talent. So I'm going to write all this down. No holds barred match, Penta and Karl Anderson. Tornado tag. How many tornado tags we got to do? I think we got to do 10. Which is, I think, ludicrous. I think 5 should be the... 5. We should do 5 of these. I don't care. Y'all don't. It's not like I could change this shit, obviously. This is good, but 10 matches with superstars. Oh my god. I just realized something. I thought that this meant that all the competitors in the match had to have a 65. I think it means you have to just have one of them have a 65, which that is clutch. That makes things a lot easier. And all but one match last week had a 3-star, so that is good as well. So let's continue that trend. Penta and Karl Anderson. No holds barred match. Tornado tag, Street Profits versus Dominic Mysterio and Tyrese Halliburton. I think fans would love that team. Also, I didn't watch all of SmackDown this week, which is something that I'm trying to think. I think since the NBA came back, I have not watched a lot of SmackDown. And especially when I see Motor City Machine Guns lose, and like I see it on Twitter, it's like, yeah, I'm not going back to watch that. This is gonna piss me off. But regardless, I don't know what happened to the tease between breaking up the Street Profits, because I feel like because they had like 2 title matches against the Wyatt Six, and then nothing has came out of it since, I think, but I'm not entirely certain. Which, to be fair, they've somewhat teased breaking them up for quite a while. Which I don't know how much that would benefit them now. It should. But I feel like I'm not going to say they wasted time with the Bobby Lashley pairing. It's just, it felt too much like the Hurt Business, the Hurt Syndicate, and they probably didn't really want it to be like that, just to have it be different. So Street Profits win here, 3 stars. That's good. Zoe Stark charity promo. Cody Rhodes wins. And Rhea Ripley wins, who is our... Oh my god, it's only a 2.5 star match. Ethan Page in the Miz. Who is the face in that match? Gunther, IC title match. Who's a world champion? I think Miz is a world champ on this show. I will fully admit to y'all, I was a big Miz fan in like 2009, 10. I did not like him more than Daniel Bryan. I'll go on the record to say that. But like, I liked him challenging Cena because to a lot of people, what am I going at? I liked his first rivalry with Cena. That's when I really started liking Miz. And he had the shirt and it had the Cena and then it had like the no over it, and then obviously he lost to Cena very quickly, and then he somewhat 110% recovered because he beat Cena in WrestleMania main event, which not many people could say that. The Rock can. Who else has Cena lost to in the WrestleMania main event? That's a great question. The Rock. Okay, it's going to be one of these weeks. I didn't even see who all got freaking banned. That makes it a lot more hilarious. Was it also 3 people or 5? I'm going to have to go back and look. Well, we're about to find out. Yeah, Rhea, I'm glad you're happy. I know I sounded sarcastic there, but good for Rhea. We love Rhea Ripley. Back over here. How many people are... Stephanie Vaquer, Dominic, Carmelo, Gigi, and Trick. So we cannot do one of the matches I wanted to do this week, which was Trick and Bron Breakker. I guess we will settle for... So as Angela Dawkins is here. We can do Bron Breakker and Tyrese. Get another one of these no-holds-barred matches done. We need Stephanie Vaquer to be... We can't do anything with her. Sorry, Stephanie. Sol Ruca and Zoe Stark. So do we put them in the opener? In this last man standing match. Who is left for Tornado Tag? Ooh. Alright. Here's the issue here. Is I have a good idea for this main event. I just don't want people getting injured. But we probably can't help it at this rate. And then over here... This would be a good week to sign somebody else. It doesn't hurt to look. It doesn't hurt to look. We also don't have any promos, just a rarity. Rhea Ripley charity promo. Whoever we're about to sign will probably go against Roxanne or AJ maybe. So let's look. Bronson Reed, bring him back. Alexa Bliss, we can't have face. Roxanne. Bull Nakano, wow. Bro, everybody's a heel. I don't like that. All right. That was I just wasted $5,000 there. Not one of our better ones. Who here? First of all, we could bring in Dom or Finn too. We can bring in Finn, which would make sense. And then we just don't really have Tyrese doing anything. Tyrese is just kind of on his own then. I'm thinking about it. Also said that we need to bring in a woman talent. Bull Nakano would be great, but I feel that she could probably cost a lot. And I will 100% admit to y'all that I tried to, in my GM series, to do Bull Nakano and Rhea Ripley, and one of the two would always leave right before I could get the shit done. So, I want to sign Tyler Breeze just for the week and do like a U.S. Open challenge, and he faces Cody. So I think it's the way to go, but then we're kind of screwed out of $3,000, so I don't know where we'd be getting that back. That's kind of what is the holdup at the exact moment. Where we wouldn't be if we signed Bronson Reed. So I think just because I'm being stingy and don't want to change the matches that I already have lined up, that's why we're going to go with Bronson Reed instead of Tyler Breeze. So, Cody Rhodes, Bronson Reed, U.S. Open Challenge match. And then over here, add promos for these people. Which, you know what we might do? A very rare training promo. And we might get Roxanne Perez to be the specialist instead of Stephanie Vaquer. Okay. I'm slightly okay with this episode. Oh, we're supposed to put the title on the line of this. So we got 3 title matches. We low-key could make this a title match for the world title, but that would kind of be crazy to have that be the second match. We have the last man standing match. I like that that is a good discount card to have. Okay. I like that the yellow bar is moving on a lot of these as well, so I'm not as worried about the challenges as I was going into it. Is there anything the only thing that I have kind of problem with is Penta and Kevin have low staminas. I'm not that worried about it. Alright. Let me write this stuff down. I also, wrote down tornado tag. So I wrote down, a little cheat sheet to do a tornado tag in the opening match and the main event every week, to do a charity promo, and to do a no-holds-barred match. Which, logically speaking, we could have just done. Because isn't a Hell in a Cell match cheaper than a no-holds-barred match? I think they're the same price, actually. No, $5,000 difference. But again, if I'm worried about the challenges so much, it kind of takes away from a lot of the other stuff. Zoe Stark, Sol Ruca, women's U.S. title, last woman standing. I don't know if I'm supposed to say last man's. Again, this is a question that I always end up asking. Has there ever been a woman's last man standing match, and did they call it a last woman standing match? Because I feel that I would have remembered that by now. I just realized, could have put Bronson Reed with Bron Breakker. But I don't really want to do that because I already turned Bron Breakker face and would rather see Bron Breakker and Cody Rhodes be a team as Legacy 2.0. Which, by the way, hopefully I can go to Target soon and buy one of the Legacy Greatest Hits Cody Rhodes Legends figures that came out. Even though I have the original one, I don't have the purple one, which I don't think the purple one was ever released in Elite form prior to this re-release. But I definitely had the original one. And I was a big I enjoyed Legacy's short time period. Because it did not last that long. It lasted the middle of 08 to the end of 2010, but were so heavily featured in like 2009 that it makes it feel like it went on for longer. Kind of like Evolution, if we're just being honest. Evolution didn't last that long as well. Kevin Owens and Penta versus the Street Profits in a tag title tornado tag. This will be a fun match. All these should be fun matches, if we're being honest. A very good episode. I'm so much so. I'm always like looking at these power cards. I was trying to see if I had one that was like, oh, you get a fan boost. Which I always thought that I had that, but I guess not. Anyways, I also probably should just say the $5,000 to the ad promo, but Roxanne Perez, don't disappoint me. As Zoe Stark's dominance continues on our roster. And that time around, you could say it, because that was a last woman standing match. It's Bron Breakker wins. I'm also glad that the challenges, because normally we have the challenges like go so many shows without an injury, which if you wanted me to do that and the no holds barred match, like you're contradicting. Which I guess they probably don't care that much. Because that's what makes it a challenge, as Penta and Kevin retain. And I don't think anybody came out of that injured, so that is good as well. As Imperium go against the Wyatt 6. Very fun triple threat on NXT. As Alpha, I think it's Alpha. I got them confused. Alpha Sika. It is Alpha still. So that was a 5-star match. Okay, gotta step our shit up, I guess. Ha ha ha. $3,656,634. So who's the next closest? NXT is right behind us. But they're neck and neck with ECW. I haven't had any matches in a while, and the fans are starting to forget about me. It's time you woke up and put me back where I belong. I want a match in the next show. Hey, boss, I've been talking with Stephanie a lot lately, and she had this great idea that we should team up for a tag match. I think we would actually make an awesome tag team. Can I convince you to take a chance on us and book us a tag match in the next few weeks? Sure. All right. I have at least one submission match. Bro, oh my God, this is the go home. That flew by extremely too fast. Okay. Penta is at a 8 stamina. I don't like that whatsoever. I actually hate that. I hate that Penta's at 8 stamina. Alright. Submission match, probably not. So here's the thing. Commissioner goal. Normally some of these challenges are, the commissioner goal. I'm not going to concern myself, especially because I think we already have this card anyways. Penta. We'll come back to Penta. It is hilarious that I did not even realize it was the go-home show. We only got to do one more no-holds-barred match, and if I'm going to be honest with you, we're doing it here. I will say that. Should have this match done. Or that challenge done. So, I'm willing to do... What do we do? I want to do Bron Breakker and Trick Williams. I will say that as a no-holds-barred match. That's going to be our no-holds-barred match. Tyrese Halliburton is not happy. Dominant Mysterio is back, but Tyrese is hurt. Bro, how much stamina does the tornado tag take away from people? A lot. That makes it not fun again. All right, opening match. Rhea and Roxanne versus Gigi Dolan and Stephanie Vaquer, because everybody has high staminas. Seems like a reasonable match to do. Kevin Owens and Karl Anderson. I think we're just going to have a regular one-on-one match. We might come back and change that. Probably not, but we might. Cody Rhodes and Melo, I think we're going to do in a match together. Bron Breakker and Trick in a match together. We're definitely doing Bron Breakker Trick. I just don't know what to put. I think Cody and Melo in the main event U.S. title match is reasonable. I feel like a stipulation should be put with it, though. Bron Breakker, Trick Williams, no holds barred. Don't have to worry. We'll do one more no holds barred match at one point, because you know what? Actually, I'll take that back, because I know what I have in mind what I want to do for the pay-per-view match. How many tornado tags? We've only done 2, which again is kind of bullshit. Back over here. AJ, Dominic, and the Street Profits, because Karl Anderson is booked. Karl Anderson and Kevin Owens regular match. Bron Breakker and Trick Williams as the Knowles Bard match, as I said. Now, I'd change any of this. Not really. Let's say, we gotta do one charity promo, obviously. Did Roxanne Perez level up? She did not. She's level 14, so she's still one away. So while we're at it, Wesley would be a nice sign-in. Lola Vice would be okay. Tyler Bate. Bronson Reed again. So we're just kind of wasting money every time we do this, and I don't say Wesley would be a nice signing, but I don't know exactly what we would do with Wesley just yet. What could we do with Wesley? Wesley and AJ Styles would be a nice rivalry. I would say that. I think we'll just leave it as is. Wesley would be a nice sign. It's just kind of wasting. We're just throwing money away. Anytime we do that, then we don't sign anybody. I'll say that just to be a smartass. So I think I know what we're about to do at the pay-per-view, which might be a bit crazy, but y'all might understand. Y'all should understand it. When we get to it, we got to get through this first. Tornado tag match. Rhea Ripley and Roxanne Perez. I think our goal is to do one tornado tag match a week, and just to let it be a slow burn. Granted, I know that we're doing 2 this week, so that gives us a bit of an advantage. And especially when we have the No Holds Barred challenge done. Bron Breakker, Trick Williams, No Holds Barred match. Speaking of what I was talking about. Kevin Owens, Karl Anderson. One-on-one match. AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio. Because their other tag partners are both doing something else to go against the Street Profits in a tornado tag match. And lastly, Cody Rhodes, Carmelo Hayes, once again for the United States Championship. I like the idea of Cody Rhodes being the U.S. champion because A, he's the American Nightmare and makes sense for him to be the American champion in quotations. And B, more importantly, he's a specialist, so it makes sense for him to do the open challenges because he can go against anybody. And I guess somewhat same applies to Zoe Starks. We haven't gotten that far yet. This Penta did not do good on the charity promo. Last No Holds Barred match we got to do for the challenge. As Trick Williams wins this one, actually. What makes it funnier, I don't know. I just legitimately went blank. What was I talking about? This is the casualty you're doing these so late at night. So AJ Styles Dominic Mysterio win. I don't like that turned to a tag rivalry. I don't know how it turned to a tag rivalry as well. Cody Rhodes is still the champion. I don't even know what this pay-per-view is, by the way, which makes it, again, a lot funnier. Might be Bash in Berlin. I don't think that it is. Let's guess. Should be Backlash. Might be Extreme Rules. We got money from that episode. Good. King and Queen in the ring. I did not even realize that. Alright, good for GG. Okay. Look, Aldous, I feel like things have been moving in the wrong direction for me. I'm not enjoying being the guy the crowd boos every week, so I'm changing roles into discussions. You know, if that makes him happy, I'm willing to do that. Even though he still got the sad emoji. Rest your male tag champions. I'm willing to do that because they are very banged up, I'm sure. Mobile, Alabama getting this pay-per-view. Alright, what is the immediately grant a superstar on your brand 25 popularity? Alright, this does not mean as much, but the stamina cost and all that crap don't really mean as much as well. So who has the highest? Rhea has the highest stamina. But we're not going to put Rhea in this match. We're going to put Gigi in this match, give Gigi a bit of a showcase. I have no clue what to do for this match because I wanted to do... Originally, thought process-wise, we were going to do a tag title match. Probably not now. We're definitely not now because of that the commissioner goal. I will also admit, I thought of doing a casket match. The obvious problem here is that we don't... Because, again, the loser of the match is gone from your roster. So, for that being the sake... Which is also... This is a terrible week for Tyrese to ask to be a face. Because all of the people I just saw were freaking faces. This is terrible. Alright, if we go here, you know, because I want some type of continuity. Brooks Jensen. It also does... I don't really want to spend that much money on it. Ashante the Adonis would actually be good for this, but it's a little bit too much out of our price range. Flint McStones. The very rare time I'll sign somebody that's not an actual wrestler. Tyrese and Flint McStones in a casket match. As Rhea, because she has such a high stamina on this, will be doing a charity promo. And our representative in this match will be Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We'll go with Trick. Trick's been getting a lot of momentum. Just won on the last episode. Anything else here benefit us that much? The rare time I'll buy that as well, because we still have $10,000. Even though it's not our best show, to be fair. This would have been hilarious. This would have been hilarious. This would have been hilarious buy, but it's also $60,000. Kind of a lot of money for that. As we're starting to pile up on these power cards. Obviously, we need to use a lot, but if I don't have to, I won't. All right. I think I'm okay with this. So, we're doing one of these. We're only going to do 6 more tornado tags. How many of these we have done? We have 2 of these done. This one shouldn't take that long, and this one shouldn't take that long. So we got 3 more that we have to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I kind of stressed out about that a little bit more than I needed to. So we're at King and Queen of the Ring. More than likely will be the wrap up. And then we might resume later. King and Queen. I wish they kind of called the show something different, because that's kind of a long name for a pay-per-view. Gigi Dolan representing SmackDown. All right, let's go ahead and go through this. Instead of waiting that long. I saw this as a gauntlet match. I'm going to hope that Gigi Dolan is not the first person in the match, and we had a bit of an advantage there. But Gigi Dolan versus Nikita Lyons from Raw versus Blair Davenport of NXT and Ivy. Now, who I think would do well in ECW as Blair Davenport, of course, won. It's kind of, if we're being honest, whoever has the highest level kind of wins these matches most of the time. A very rare, potentially, casket match. Tyrese Halliburton versus Flint McStones. Being honest, Rhea Ripley and no fucking way that just happened. That is hilarious. Sorry, Tyrese, but that is hilarious. Sorry, Tyrese, but that is hilarious. We get $10,000. We'd get about $10,000 back for that. That was hilarious. I was gonna say, because the thing is, I don't like doing the pay-per-view matches, if you want me to be honest. Unless it is like high level, like heated rivalry, which right now we don't really have any of those. I don't really like doing the pay-per-view matches. I like having them all on the same show. And especially because some of these brand showcase matches, you need the higher level talent to be in those matches. Again, this power core that we get it's not the biggest benefactor of us, so that's why I didn't care that much for it. I also think the casket match got it 3 stars. I'm going to hope. We were at 4 tornado tag matches. I'm going to hope that this counts for 1. So I'm going to go look at that while I'm thinking of it before I start freaking coughing again. Drake Williams and Akam versus Joe Gacy and Duke Hudson. Joe Gacy of Raw. And Duke Hudson, who is a double champion. And is a loser now. Because he just lost. Thank you, Akam. That is hilarious. We kind of did Tyrese dirty. Now, I will say, we could have some trades here. I also just realized that we don't have a tag partner for Dominant, so it would have been, we should have signed Finn. We should have signed Finn. I don't want to give up a lot of money. We do need a tag partner for Finn, or for Dominant. I'm going to keep freaking calling Dominant Finn, even though I obviously don't mean to. We also have a lot of low morales. I don't like that. Remember when we were supposed to get Bron Breakker and AJ Styles like on the road to WrestleMania, and then they completely have somewhat forgotten about Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed versus AJ and Dragon Lee. I might drop everything on a Monday night to watch that. I don't really see anything that big of a need on some of these shows. I would like to bring Tatum Paxley back. I wouldn't mind Andrade. I also, again, need to look for somebody to team with Dominic, since we brought him in. Jacob Fatu, I think, would be a good tag partner, but that'd be like legitimately all of our money. So I think we're going to save our money, save our time. Like I said, it's kind of hard to do trades with some of these people, and they didn't even want to do a trade. You don't seem to realize this, Aldous, but I'm a bit of a master on the mic. I want to make my mark in a promo during tonight's show. What do you want to talk about? I have a small request for you, boss. I can't be the only one to notice that Rhea keeps giving me a side eye. I'm getting pretty tired of seeing her stupid face. I've had enough of her constant disrespect, and I want to teach her a lesson in the ring, and I promise you I'm going to bring the heat. That is already the rivalry was supposed to be doing, so thank you, GG. All of your superstars gain steal a power card from each opponent next week. 5 stamina is not a lot. Fuck it. I didn't really need those damn power cards, if I'm just being honest. Sure, Carmelo Hayes cuts a promo. So Cody's definitely cutting a promo. Charity promo. I'm willing to do another promo. We're going to have Carmelo do a promo. I just don't know which one yet. Main event to conclude this rivalry, whether they want to or not. And they have low staminas all around. Hilarious that they made Dominic AJ's tag partner now. If we could, oh my god, this would have been perfect to bring Finn in, and then like Finn and Karl are mad that AJ and Dom are like teaming and are like friends. That'd be a good story, and I'm saying that in quotations. Back to this. Did this count as a tornado tag? It didn't. I kind of understand why, but it's kind of bullshit. IMO. Also, I'm gonna do this as a tornado tag because I said it. We only need to do 1, 2, 3. We're almost done with these, so we don't even like have to harp that much on the tornado tags. They're kind of just freebies, funbies. But I want to do that. Rhea and Gigi will have a match. We put a stipulation on it. We'll see. This again would make a smart and okay casket match, but I don't really want to risk losing Gigi Dolan, so we're not going to do that. Now over here, nobody is hurt now at the moment, so that is good. So this is also a good week to, we'll do a signing, I will say that. Oh, Shaq. We're breaking him in. We got to. Bro, why does he cost so much for such a freaking low overall? Alright. I'm breaking Shaq in. How long he is on this roster, I don't know. But Shaq and Dominic Mysterio sounds like a funny match to me. I might end up changing this. I probably will. But I just want to see, like, money-wise, where we're at. And I'm only doing this as a tornado tag because everybody here has high staminas. But again, this is something that can change down the line. I'm just thinking out loud. And then over here, who has the highest stamina? Trick. So we do another charity promo. Boom. Now, I don't have a fixed match power card. But if I did, I would have gave it to Dominic. Because we're doing it would be a very big risk. Rhea, or not Rhea. Who was on this side? Sol Ruca. And no, oh my God, Zoe Stark. Then Sol Ruca, Stephanie Vaquer, Rhea, Gigi, boom. This would be too risky. This would be too risky. I really want to do it. As my alarm is going off. We still got 5 minutes. I think this is going to be the ending point. I'm going to think we come back will be the deciding factor. The obvious issue, all right, because I like to look at everything as like there's a good side and a bad side. Good side is Dominic doesn't have a tag partner because Tyrese got fired. Or Tyrese lost the casket match. Then we would only have to do one more casket match. Also, the best thing about the casket match is that you get a big fan boost out of it. So fan-wise, we are booming because we have all charity promos this week because we have the money for it. We'd get a fan boost here. Very big fan week, I will say. The risk is Dominic losing, and then we just got to have to find somebody else to bring in because we're already down talent because we already lost out on Tyrese. Granted, we're about to break up Kevin and Penta so they could start their rivalry, and AJ and Karl can go after the Street Profits. I was trying to think. So, we haven't really, like, I told you the rivalries I wanted to establish. We haven't really gotten that far with them. I've been worried about the challenges, which is a good thing and a bad thing because it kind of stagnates. But at least, like, we've been getting good shows out of everything thus far. And the challenges have been going on a good trajectory. As I like to throw out big words. So, I'm going to write all this down. When we come back, I will have decided if I wanted to do Shaq and Dominic in a casket match. Which if I write it down, I'm not changing it more than likely. I might be a liar, but I want to do it. I think because we need to find somebody for Dominic to feud anyways. We need to find more female talent after that. We preferably need to find a face specialist for Dominic to feud with since Tyrese is not with us anymore. Which is it's a double entendre because he lost a casket match. We're probably going to put a stipulation on this, but this is something that's going to be long-term. This is hilarious. I think we have to do this as a casket match. I also feel that Dominic would very much have a hard time putting Shaq in a casket. So, this matchup is going to be a big deciding factor. And I'm just kind of stalling for time. Tag team title, tornado tag match. Penta and Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles, Karl Anderson. And then after this match, I'm going to hope that AJ and Karl Anderson win that way. We can move on. Alright. That's going to be the end of this episode, but I might be back a little bit sooner rather than later. Let's put it that way. So I appreciate y'all for watching this one at least. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll see you when I see you because I'm out for now. This worked out perfectly. Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm out for now. Bye-bye. Stay safe.